So I, Harpreet Singhal, Associate Professor at Department of CSE at SKIT Engineering College. I welcome you all on the day one, session 3 of online FDP on electrical and computer engineering on applications of machine learning and artificial intelligence. So we are having a topic that is to be covered is introduction to machine learning, and Dr. Abhishek Kumar, Assistant Professor at Department of Computer Science and IT, Jain University, deemed to be University, Bangalore, is going to present this topic. Sir, over to you, sir.
Thanks a lot, sir. Thanks for inviting me. So hope participant, anyone can let me know my voice is clearly coming to you or not. You can go and type into the chat box also. I'm parallelly trying to communicate with you chat box also. Please, anyone can type into the chat box, then we can go ahead. Anyone here? Neeraj Chaudhary, sir, Mr. Santosh, lot of participants. We having 47 participants. Out of 47, anyone please tell me. Then we can go ahead.
Yes, can someone please confirm that is the audio audible to them?
Yeah, Dr. Achin, Dr. Sukhvinder, sir, could you confirm once? Then we can smoothly get started. Because as an panelist, we are able to hear everyone. Yeah, okay.
Mr. Sanjay Kumar
Thanks,
says.
Sanjay, sir.
Yeah,
Thanks,
thank you, Sanjay sir.
Thanks. So hope so. It's a like post lunch session. First of all, so I'm disturbing you all because it's a time where commonly after post lunch we are feeling little sleepy. But meanwhile, I had prepare a session in little manner where I do believe you will not leave the desk because commonly in a online AICT FDP or ATEL FDP or any international program, either it should be a ACM or IEEE, any common platform where we are giving the sessions over there. As in a participants also, 70% plus participants actively muted and they are not in front of desk also. So this is one disadvantage, and one advantage is what parallelly maybe, for example, it's not like that. If you are participating into one FDP, so all sessions I'm interested. Maybe some sessions we having a clearly idea about that session, and maybe the topic is not much effective with respect to my interest. Then sometimes we are doing mute and we are parallelly doing our own work. So meanwhile, I tried to do little more interactive sessions with you and hope maybe if you are feeling sleepy, again, you would be get woke up. I'm Dr. Abhishek, today your host, commenter for today's session, and my presentation is specifically on artificial intelligence integrated new era technology for effective teaching and learning, specifically for a higher education student. And here I had a mention one subtitle. It's an innovative tool in education and infection prevention and control during COVID-19. Why did I mention this one thing? Because as a professor from several colleges, several university institutions, all me are a little uncomfortable before COVID time to give the presentation in front of camera. But I do believe now all you are too much confident and using ICT enabled technology, you are effectively teaching and communicating with your student. But meanwhile, if we are integrating artificial intelligence in that technology, definitely that's a cost effective and definitely more investment is required over there, but that is future only, right? So you can go and check out one of my courses also available into the Swam and Petal platform. That is an animation, and my specialization specifically is a computer graphics, right? So in a computer graphics, I had a work in a several research paper, deep learning, integrated generative adversarial network, and digital humans. Right now, I'm working. So I will share some of the like brief introductions about that. New upcoming area of research also, so you may having also a new thrust to do something new and innovative towards the society, and also end of the day if you are doing something innovative and new era of technology execution, then publications would be little also easier with respect to the common topic which you are doing research over there, right? And specifically you can see me on Swam Prabha IIT Madras channel also after March 2021 onwards, right? So that would be the course on a graphic design and visualizations. Coming to the next here, me, Abhishek, yeah, fortunately I'm Adobe certified educator, Apple certified, and also certified by Autodesk. Autodesk is the tool and the software where you are looking for the computer graphics imagery, right? for our simulations, for our creations of digital humans and all, we can easily use the Autodesk tool to create effective result. And soon in a 2021, one of my book is going to be published under Springer. And already I had a published 3 book with a Springer nature. One is the beginning PBR texturing, and second is the virtual reality. Definitely it's a hot cup of cake. And right now, today I'm majorly focusing on how we can utilize virtual reality in education, and effectively we can get more retention from the students also. And this is one of the new era of technology, that is the immersive technology, right? So recently, like a world top 10 university has introduced a master and a PhD specialization course also in a immersive design visualizations. And luckily I had written one of the book, immersive design visualization, that has been get accepted, and now online version that is available into the Springer website also, authored book over there. And till date I have been holding 7 national patents and 1 international patent and 1 US patents also we had get filed. And hopefully in up to 2021 December we may having a positive response. And this is something right now I'm connected with a 153 country of a student, and mentoring computer graphics imagery, digital humans, animation design to them, right? So this is a broad area. So our today motto to get specialized into deep learning, machine learning, artificial intelligence, right? And how effectively we can integrate these 3 technology as an educator in our regular classroom. So moving to the next. So this is some of the demographic. And this is one of the course I am discussing about animation course, which is last 2019-20, one of the world top 30 courses across the globe. And fortunately, here you can check out from India. This one course has been get followed by Indian Institute of Technology, Madras, Python for data science courses. And the course has been get like specific recommendations by Honorable Education Minister Dr. Ramesh Pokhriyal Nishank sir, and especially accreditations, not accreditation, especially appreciation from the Narendra Modi ji, Honorable Prime Minister. And in a game technology and game development, this one course has been got rank point. Earlier, I'm associated with Banaras Hindu University as an assistant professor, and right now I'm having a project with a BHU itself. Right now I'm going, and at current I'm giving my services to Jain University, Bangalore. So when I completed this one project is a rank 1 course across the globe, followed by Michigan State University and University of Polytechnica and California Institute of Arts. Fine. So this is something which I did earlier. Definitely, as a government of India citizen, lot of initiative government has taken towards educate our scholars or students to during this COVID-19 pandemic situations. So meanwhile, definitely you may having some idea, but I will again take 2 to 3 minute time only to get emphasized on the same. So whatever the right now government of India digital initiative is going on for education, like online education, teaching and learning platform, that is the first is the EPG Pathshala. Second is the Swayam Prabha and Swayam and NPTEL. So commonly as an engineering background people, you may are much familiar with the NPTEL. So NPTEL and Swayam now they are collaboratively into the same platform, that is a swayam.gov.in, right? So here you can check out, these are the some of the initiative taken by Government of India. Swayam, it's a massive open online course. So as a teacher, several times what happening, maybe we are teaching one of the paper related to computer science engineering, maybe it would be the data mining, or maybe it could be the artificial intelligence. So maybe definitely in this pandemic situation, sometime as a teacher, we having a problem like internet is not working, or sometime maybe we are not able to directly connect with the student in a much effective way. So we can recommend some of the courses from the Swayam website also. And last year, Government of India has officially permitted all university up to 20% credit we can get off from the Swayam also. So for example, in a major elective, minor elective, you can recommend the 4 credit course from the Swayam, and a student can earn the degree from the Swayam, and he would submit that certificate to their respective university institute, and that would be get mentioned in their regular certificate mark sheet category over there. Second is the Swayam Prabha. This is an initiative by Government of India using DTS, direct to home services. You can get access about the several specifically engineering courses over there, and you can live on air content that is available free of cost over there. NDL, again, it's an initiative by IIT Kharagpur itself, where you can having access about the several books and PDF over there. And EPG Pathshala, earlier EPG Pathshala is a like where you having not teacher support. In a Swayam, because it's a MOOC course. So here teacher supports you having. So backend as a course coordinator, as a principal investigator, we are over there. But if you are talking about the EPG Pathshala, so EPG Pathshala is a self-paced course. So what you can do again, maybe you have to give some like a handout to the student, because right now in a several private university colleges, what administrators is expecting, they are expecting, okay, submit the PPT, submit the handout over there. So as a teacher, definitely it's a little tough to create a several PPT presentation and again do the regular classes over there. So I do recommend you can go to the EPG Pathshala website. Relatively computer science engineering, I think more than 90% papers already available over there. So you can simply download the PDF from there and you can recommend to your student. There is no any copyright issue over there, because we had created this one content in an open education resource mode. So it's a freely to get share. Definitely as a course content, principal investigator, course coordinator, we are expecting our just credentials you would be mentioned over there like a credit or as a reference over there. Sodh Ganga, definitely as a PhD holder, maximum you are familiar with the Sodh Ganga, Sodh Sindhu again, Yantra, Foshi spoken tutorial. So I'm skipping little faster here, coming again to the today topic. And it's a really, we can say in India from last 3-4 years, AI is booming. But could you tell anyone when AI has been get started? Like as a common professor come student, people having idea AI come to the industry last 5-6 year back only, but it's not true. Anyone can type into the chat box how much technology this is old. 20 years. So Bin Kosi sir, yeah, definitely. Anyone more? Little go back 20 years, more back, more back. It's more than 50-year-old. I will give you some of the examples, right? So meanwhile, definitely in India, slowly we are going to up. Like I'm clearly remember when I'm doing my PhD in an area when I completed in a computer graphics animation design. So what happened in my ex university, Benares University itself, they are saying computer graphics, it's to a part of art and like it could be part of design. Why you are done the specialization computer graphics in like specifically computer science itself now, but you can easily check out in this time virtual reality, augmented reality, 3D printing, AICT specific suggesting and recommending during FDP about this one hot era of technology to get introduced and to get suggested to the people, and they could also get integrated about this technology and they could be effectively teach the student, right? So AI is exactly what? It's a hype or it's a hope, right? So it's a both. It's hype also, right? And it's a hope also. Hope for something, then and hope in terms of what? Hope in terms of laziness. Because end of the day, if we are right now using Google, Alexa, simply we are giving the command to Alexa, Alexa, play the music, shut down the television, shut down the switch on the AC over there. So indirectly, what happening? We are going to be lazy itself. That's why hope for a laziness I'm putting over there, right? So again, I'm giving you one small like a video clip. Using that, you may able to more warm up about the artificial intelligence, why and how things is going on. Specifically, if you're talking about the deep learning, right? So deep learning come into the industry tentatively around 7 to 8 year back into the market very intensively. People are publishing the research paper into the deep learning. So deep learning is what? Deep learning is a stage third of artificial intelligence. Artificial intelligence, then machine learning, then deep learning, right? So these are some of the like a deep learning paper has been get published into the Nature, right? BBC and Forbes over there. So now if today's session is what, like whenever you are going to learn about any topic, you should know what is the motivation and what we are going to learn. If both things having with you, then only you would be interested about the topic. So what AI is doing, definitely previously maybe 2 sessions had been happened and respective professors from the university institutions maybe having giving you a little idea about what is exactly artificial intelligence, machine learning or the deep learning. So just quick recapping in the same. So it is a redefining the way of computing is to be used to solve societal problem. Right now, we are working with the 2-3 problems. One is the PPS, postpartum hemorrhage. Second is the autonomous vehicle, and third one is how to do rerouting the vehicles in autonomous mode when it's an emergency. So at end of the session, I will quickly share that research paper also. It's into the 3 and 4th revision, and paper has been get submitted to IEEE transactions. One has been get published, not published, accepted to neural computing and application, Springer journals also, and third one has been into the second review with IEEE transactions consumer electronics magazine. So I will share at end, but first of all, let us know about how and the things is going on. So some of the existing job is also going to vanish, or changes are the most attractive, highest paying job into the AI, ML, and DL. End of the day, as a teacher, as a student, we having only one motto. First is what? Name and fame, and second is what? Money, right? So end of the day, definitely, if you are a learning and if you are doing the specialization with respect to the deep learning specifically, why I'm saying deep learning, because using deep learning, it's a third segment of, you can say, or it's a third generation of artificial intelligence. You are able to identify and give the best solution towards society, right? So I will give you some of the examples of deep learning and artificial intelligence in upcoming slides also. And it's also a fastest growing technology. So definitely it's upcoming requirement, then salary would be also higher and higher and higher, right? So most of our right now startup, maybe if you are into the IIT or NIT, several IIT and NIT has been recently a startup there, incubation center. So you can check out more than 60 to 70% projects which are into the incubation. They are somehow related to the artificial intelligence only. So these are the motivations why artificial intelligence, why deep learning, machine learning, we have to read. This is the agenda of the session. Now this is one of the like a video I would like to share with you. So hope your concept would be more clear. Uh, right. Let us keep it bottom. Let us close it above, right? Fine. So now I am playing it. I have to keep my mic near to the speaker, because sharing during the WebEx, they are not allowing the audio sharing. Fine. So carefully listen the same. Then I will demonstrate in detail also.
Sorry, it's not visible.
Voice is little less. Just give me 1 minute. I am increasing the volume. Just give me a minute.
Searching for the origins of our universe. And charting a safer path to other worlds. I am a helper, moving us forward one step at a time, and giving voice to every emotion. Modeling the future of medicine. And finding a needle in a haystack. Every second counts. I am a visionary, uncovering masterpieces lost to the ages. New adventures in a galaxy far, far away. I am a builder. Driving perfection in everything we create. I am even the narrator of the story that we're watching. The story we're watching. Composer of the music. When the world faces its greatest challenge, give us the power to take it on together.
So hope now you're having a clear idea about artificial intelligence. We are going to use artificial intelligence into all segments. Either it's into the medical, either it's into the engineering, either it's into the industrialization. Every place we are right now going to use the artificial intelligence over there. Right? So moving to the next. So like these are the some of the milestone in a 1989, right? So this is the first example of machine learning, or you can say a subsegment of artificial intelligence, where using the natural language processing, or you can say the image recognition system. This had been recognized the JEP codes, right? That has been get published into the 1989 by LNet. So this is the first milestone about the digit recognition. Second milestone when happening, it's into 2012 itself, where we have like a researcher has trained 200 GB plus image data with a single file using the deep learning technology, artificial intelligence, and neural network. And finally, they had to produce the result. Third milestone has been came into the speech recognition in a 1997, right? Where using the using the deep learning technology, they had to train the model to get trained and get take the good result using the speech recognition. Like a previous session was about the speech recognition itself. Then there was a one more milestone in 2016 itself about the language translation, and this is also one of the key and hot area where people are looking right now. Maybe if I'm talking in an English language, then automatically the computer should be get translate, or maybe as a user you required to hear into the Hindi language, Tamil, Telugu, Marathi, Kannada, Malayalam, or like a Punjabi itself. So automatically, industry is working right now. The translation would be one time convert into the multiple languages over there. So this is right now also one of the thrust area about the automatic AI integrated language translation, where several researchers are right now doing the work, but till date not specifically for Hindi and an Indian native language. It's not a very good solution. Anyone has been get identified. So even as a researcher, you can also start researching on the same. One more deep learning reinforcement related learning 2013, they had to get executed by AlphaGo, right? This is the world champions of least dogs. Now we are going about the background. So like I had stated about the artificial intelligence. So early time artificial intelligence in 1950 itself, it has been starting about the artificial intelligence. But right now, at that time, that has been not get notified into the papers or the books. So people have not idea. But when you check out the technology, artificial intelligence is like a long time back. It's around a 50, 60-year back itself. Then during the 1980, the concept of machine learning has been get introduced. Then during 2010 itself onwards, then deep learning has been get introduced. So if you are talking about the AI subsegment is the machine learning subsegment is the deep learning, right? So this is one of the I had to make one of the graphics like AI, then ML, then deep learning. So I will use the abbreviation also, AI for the artificial intelligence, DL for the deep learning, and ML for the machine learning. So what is exactly machine learning? So what we are doing into the machine learning, we are training the computer with respect to the previous model, right? And using that identification of the information, machines taking decisions, and they are automatically generating the result. So the same thing here I had been mentioned, a common definition. Machine learning is concerned with a computer program that automatically improve their performance through their own experience, right? So this is one of the very common example, definitely in a fundamental uh, classroom teaching. When we are talking about the machine learning or artificial intelligence or deep learning, we are talking about, okay, this is a cat and dog, very foundation example. So definitely, if we are going to identify the things, so this is that one of the trained model. So here the data is going to be input, okay, cat information, convolutional neural network, one, second layer, third layer, fourth layer, and then finally they got it, okay, this image information is looking like a cat, so output would be get produced what, okay, this is the cat, not dog over there, right? So this is the one of the example where we are doing training to the computer, and with respect to that training, computer is giving you a result. and result in terms of the output, right? So here we have to first teach computers. So for that, what required? Lot of data is required. So if your number of data trained model would be very high, then definitely your accuracy would be also really very high. So like at initial, I had to tell you about the GAN, generative adversarial network. So using GAN and the digital human, these are the new era of research and the technology where we are taking care and capture the informations of the human, several facial recognition, several facial like a muscles movement over there, and with respect to all information, we are applying that data into the 3D model, and 3D model is also 99.99% looking like a super realistic model. So in recently some movie we had also get implemented this concepts over there. So I will share the concept in between of today's sessions only. So this is the difference between machine learning and deep learning. What? In a machine learning, we are going with a manual feature extraction, right? And then we are classifying the algorithm, and then we are going to produce the result. But when you are talking about the deep learning using the CNN, then we are going with the input image, then future extraction, then again we are going with a multiple level of like filtrations. You can call that layers, like as in layers over there. So quality of result would be improvised over there. So this is the deep learning and machine learning common difference, right? So here we are going with the manual instructions. Here we are going with the future extraction and classifications technique over there, right? So why deep learning? So deep learning, again, it's a subset of machine learning, right? And here we are teaching the computer with using the learning pattern. So deep learning algorithm attempt to learn level of representation using hierarchy of multiple layers. Layer means what? A stacking of data into one to each other, right? One layer data filtration, then second layer, then third layer, then fourth layer, then fifth layer. In this way, we are filtering the data, and for that we require lot of ton of information if we want exact or the accurate result, right? Then with respect to the filtration, we identify the very good result over there, right? So this is about the deep learning. So like I tell you right now into the automotive industry also deep learning and artificial intelligence are doing a lot of support to programmer, or you can say the engineers. Let us mute the internet because several WhatsApp messages are coming. Fine. So here, this is one of the example how in industry, in automotive industry, we are implementing deep learning to train the vehicle autonomous. They can take the decision, right? To where to go and where is the obstacle, each and everything. Fine. So I'm playing the scene.
Every day, Cognex deep learning solutions help manufacturers push the limits of what's possible with machine vision. Inspired by human cognition, deep learning technology gives manufacturing equipment the ability to recognize images and perceive environments in new ways. With the flexibility of the human brain and speed and robustness of the computer, deep learning-based vision algorithms can now solve factory floor applications that once took months to develop. These include applications that are too complicated to program or unwieldy to maintain, like cosmetic inspection on textured patterns that vary in subtle ways, complicated assemblies with confusing backgrounds, and even complex character reading. Cognex is at the vanguard of this machine vision innovation with the first deep learning-based image analysis software designed specifically for factories, Cognex Vision. The software learns directly from a set of images to conceptualize the normal appearance of a part. During inspection, it applies its logic without programming to read characters, locate, inspect, classify, and sort parts, even as conditions vary. This helps machines develop solutions to the most sophisticated automation challenges in minutes and make decisions in milliseconds. Capturing over 1 billion images a day, and with the industry's best technology and vision experts, Cognex continues to lead the way in machine vision and deep learning technology, helping manufacturing become more productive, robust, and intelligent.
So this is here you had a scene how in industry deep learning is going to be integrated, right? So now if you're talking about deep learning packages, right? So these are some of the packages which if you want to go and learn. So commonly you may heard about the TensorFlow and the Keras and the Neon people are recommending, right? And maybe as a common user, 90% people having only one idea. If you have to go for the deep learning and a more like a calculation, you should be having a good computer configuration, like it should be i7, and people are increasing the RAM up to 64 GB, 128 GB. But I do recommend don't increase the CPU processing and the RAM over there. Now it's a time to work with the GPU itself, right? So specifically using the NVIDIA technology, we are having a very fast computation where we having a 1+ GB terabyte flops data we can get simulate within a second over there, right? So I will give you the example how using NVIDIA technology we are going to use the deep learning and the result in a more faster way. In India right now, IIT Hyderabad has been recently has set up their NVIDIA Artificial Intelligence Lab. They having their DGX like a PC setup over there, right? So I have also collaborated with one of the University of North South Wales. So using virtual mode, I'm using their systems and their virtual lab over there, and I'm doing train my model to take more accurate result of the deep learning using GPU technology, right? So moving on to the next. So specifically, if you are talking about the deep learning and artificial intelligence, as I tell you earlier also, my major research area into the computer graphics imagery. So in a computer graphics is the imagery, I am working for the two segmentation. First is the medical healthcare system, and second is the movies and film. So maybe in your mind, one question is coming over there. How in our films and movies we can get implement the artificial intelligence or maybe the deep learning technology? So today I will share you one of the project also using 3D animation, design and deep learning and machine learning, how effectively in next when the project would be get completed, we are giving the solution to the patient within one app. They just have to give their input of the information, their age, their detail, and their problem, whatever problem they are facing. With respect to that, that app will recommend the final medicine, and definitely we are mapping that medicine with a netmed.com or 1mg.com. So with a single clip with their home, they are able to get by the best medicine with respect to their own disease or the problem over there, right? So we can define the segmented the healthcare medical system into the health monitoring, medical informatics, preserving sensing, and the bioinformatics, and last one is the medical imaging. So commonly in India, if I'm taking care, checking the last 10 years of research, 70+% of students are only working into the medical image processing area of PhD thesis. But end of the day, what is the result for the society? End of the day, their PhD is going to award, but the result is nothing. Just for namesake, okay. In my previous organization, Benares Hindu University, BHU itself also, my like my supervisor, Professor Achint Singhal, in associate professor BHU itself, he having three scholars who are doing their PhD into the research area of medical imaging processing only. So 90% just result we having in our hand, but what is the result for the society? What is the use for the society? Nothing over there. So right now, definitely as an a researcher or as an a like a teacher, I do recommend at least we should go with a small topic of our PhD, idea only, and then we should think how our PhD research after 3 years could be beneficial toward the society. With that concept, if we will work, definitely our India research and development would be into the different dimension. But right now, 70+% people are doing PhD for what? Okay, I want to put the doctor in front of my name, or second, I want to do the job, and this is a requirement for the job. That's why I have to do the PhD, right? So moving to the next, how in a medical imaging earlier traditional health monitoring system is working. So machine, then data acquisition, then physical model. Personally, we are taking care and analyzing the data, and we are giving the solution to them. So using deep learning and the machine learning, what we are doing, we are already loaded all the data into the computer itself in a hard drive only. So automatically software using software regressions and like a deep neural network technology, they are giving and predicting and giving the best solution for the recommendation system. So this is the traditional monitoring system. Right now, using machine learning and deep learning, we are giving the best solution to the audience, right? So for health monitoring, how you can get implement. So health monitoring, predicting lifestyle diseases or the air pollutant predictions, infection disease predictions, or the demographic information predictions. So base model, you can use the DBN or the deep neural network, CNN, deep auto encoder. Definitely in upcoming classes, because this is a day first, so commonly you would be go into more dive over there. So more complexity would become over there. So meanwhile, at least you should be go about the abbreviation, what kind of things we have to use, where we have to go for the health monitoring, where we have to go for the medical informatics, right? So specifically, if you have to go for the medical informatics, you can again require for the data mining, human behavior monitoring, right? Then disease predictions. So for disease predictions and medical informatics, the same project I am working, I will share the video presentation with respect to that also. And we are using the deep neural network technique for that, right? So next is what? Medical imaging. So commonly for medical imaging, neural cell classification, CNN, traditionally we are using. Then brain tissue classification. These are the common research areas. So traditionally, if you check out the Indian researcher paper publication in last 1 year, maximum people are publishing the paper with respect to the medical imaging, this one area only. Very less paper publication with respect to the health monitoring and the medical informatics specifically, right? So anyhow, slowly, definitely things would be go up and up and up and up, right? So here for preservation sensing, again, anomaly detections, like again, you can go with the DBN algorithm. For the human activity recognition, you can again go with the deep neural network, right? Hand gesture recognition, CNN, is a convolutional neural network is the traditional methodology. Right now, maximum people are using the same methodology, right? RNA binding, DNA methylications, and compound protein interactions. So right now, if you go and check out the IIT Hyderabad itself has been started MTech in bioinformatics itself. So 90% researchers who are from the MTech into the computer science engineering, they are giving the preferences to them. Why? Because as a computer science engineer, we having idea about the technology, same idea technology we have to implement with respect to the bioinformatics over there. So we are doing the same prediction with respect to the gene selections or the cancer diagnosis or the drug design and all over there. So this is also a new course which commonly IIT is right now offering. Okay, so these are the some of the open access data set which already available into internet, free of course, because as a newcomer, whenever you are doing the deep learning or the analysis over there, you should be having a good data set over there. So you can take simple print screen also, and you can take the photographs also using your cell phone. And these are the some of the source link which you can go ahead over there. So like here you can check out if you want to do the research into the cancer data set. So 82 patients data set of the 7,909 breast microscopic images has been available over there, right? So these are the some of the data sets which I had put it over there. So at initial during the primary phase of your deep neural network or like a learning, you can go ahead and you can use these data sets over there. During COVID-19 also several COVID-19 related data freely available into internet also. So you can get and check out and work into the COVID-19 related deep learning prediction systems result also over there. Fine. So these are some of the source links. These are some of the data links which I had put it here. I'm little skipping. So commonly, fortunately, I having a little extensive experience using the GPU based deep learning recognitions over there. So I'm recommending right now, whenever you are going to use the deep learning research over there, we should having a GPU based research. But the second problem is what? For a GPU, definitely you need to again invest a lot. So for that, you can go with a Clara, this is one of the hardware asset. Because when you go with a DGX A2 or DGX 100, it's a really very expensive. In a comment slides, I'm going to share about that detail also. So you're having a little idea about that. Then definitely you can get recommend your HOD, your university or institute administration. So forthcoming time, give the positive investment with respect to this technology, and end of the day, definitely if you are maintaining your quality of research and quality of student productive outcome, end of the day your placement would be best. So it's a return on investment kind of thing. So medical imaging right now, what are the computational problem happening at initial in 2007 using NVIDIA CUDA. This is one of the processors come the GPU technology. We are using the same. Then it has been get integrated 2009. So Siemens has been get opted in 2011 using the CT scan images. Then right now we are using the NVIDIA project Clara. So using Clara, we are doing very intensive result output, right? So this is again one of the hardware. This is not a software or the tool. Definitely hardware having the software. Using that software, you can do very best result. You can extract the best result over there. But you should have that hardware with your PC over there, right? So computational imaging right now, like if you're talking about the reconstruction, right? Visualizations, analysis and pricing, everywhere right now, computational imaging required over there. If you're talking about the medical image computation in 2008, definitely very less people are working into the medical image computation, but right now we are into 2020 itself, and every year trends of medical image computation is going up and up and up and up and up, right? So here you can check out right now in 2000 itself more than 70% industry, they are using only the deep learning integrated GPU based solution to give the best predictions for the problem over there. Fine. So these are the some of the developments, advanced visualizations, more sensor. Right now we having to get analyze the human monitoring system. Like commonly you may have used the Fitbit system. So commonly if you are keeping Fitbit system in your hand, and you can get analyze about the like a BP, how much distance you had to travel in a day. Every database you can get check out using a small one device, MI Fitbit over there. Right now several different company is also had introduced more sensing device, so you can keep with you to get analyze about your monitoring system. We having also a very good high computation system. So we are going with a big data, new modality, artificial intelligence, precision in the medicines also, and digitalizations and artificial intelligence for drug discovery. So these are some of the changes which going on into the healthcare industry right now. So for that, definitely more and more and more computational required. So right now, if you are using the CPU, like commonly i7 processors, definitely it will take more time and more time and more time. So that solution is the GPU. So like healthcare in a robotic surgery, right now several international like hospitals, they are giving the facilitations of the robotic surgery where they are giving you the no human required over there, right? Microsoft robotics. So these are the future requirement of technology, right? So these are the something. So if you are talking about the challenges and the requirement, definitely reliability, data size, edge computing and the cloud and the privacy. Definitely privacy is a very, very important thing. So right now you can check out several people now they are working with a like a blockchain technology to preserve their data with respect to their informations like land certificates over there, their date of birth certificates, all the data right now. If you go with the US, several zones, they are implemented blockchain technology to preserve the data into the privacy mode. So there is a privacy with respect to the security. But when you are using the blockchain technology, it's a transparent 100%. So from inception to till date, whatever changes are happening, anyone can check over there. So that is a more reliable. So now in a medical industry, also blockchain technology is implementing day by day, day by day. So these are the challenges in the medical imaging, like high speed requirement, right? So we have it right now, if 5 to 50 teraflops of data, we are of one time calculating over there. So for that, definitely 2 GPU, 12 GPU required over there. So now for visualizations and reconstructions of 3D model, like using the 3D printing again, for example, if your body having some of the major fractures over there, so using 3D printing technology, first of all, they are taking the printout of that particular bone structure with respect to your body. Then again, they are reworking for your real life body systems over there. So these are some of the challenges also when your data would be not accurate. So when your computation would be not accurate, the challenges will come over there. So to overcome the solution, this is the technology, NVIDIA Clara platform, right? So using NVIDIA Clara platform, when you're going to use the computation, your computation would be more faster and more accurate result. Right now, if you are checking about the King's College London or US State University, they're having a full-fledged NVIDIA research lab to do the deep learning AI integrated computations over there, right? This is the one NVIDIA Clara. Second, if you're talking about, this is a one small hardware device, NVIDIA Jester. right? So Clara cost is on average coming 80 to 90,000 rupee from Indian currency. But if you are going with a Juston is a, on average 10 to 15,000 a small hardware input device. So you can use the NVIDIA Juster as an a fresher whenever you are going for the deep learning computation. And third one, if you are going with the more extensive, then NVIDIA Xavier with a Turing, whenever you are implementing that, the intelligence calculation would be much faster, much better. And last solution is what? This is the NVIDIA DGX 100. So this is a, one of the best solution where you are going about more than like 200 to 500 GB of data computation within a minute. All computation will done using NVIDIA A100 small CPU. This small CPU size would be like around 1 feet height only over there, right? So this is a small GPU integrated CPU, right? Why I'm saying CPU? Because commonly we having idea the box is called the CPU, central processing unit, but in this small box we are using the GPU technology. I'm giving you the visual representation to get more understand how the GPU is working right now using several graphics card only. So commonly people having idea using graphics card only we are playing games, we are playing simulations only over there. But using the graphics card only right now we are going to compute more and more and more data in a very faster way. So this is, you can say, see, this is a DGX A100 collections of several graphics is over there, GPU based machines over here. So this is the new era of solution. Then we are going to do a high-end like computation. Like these are the some of the recent work has been get executed using NVIDIA DGX 100, right? So this is the Martian Center, right? So they have go with the MRI reconstruction algorithm. This is a 100x faster reconstruction they got using this one, a specific DGX NVIDIA technology, right? So here you can check out brain tumor segmentation. So again, here you can check out the entire training has been get completed. Commonly, when you are using one GPU, it will take around 2 days with a 3 epochs per training data set. But if you are using the NVIDIA DGX server, it's only taking a 6 hour of time. So here we are saving a lot of time using the same hardware system. But end of the day, definitely, if you are going to use a new additional hardware system, you need to invest more and more and more over there, right? So this is something whenever you are talking about the 3D reconstructions. So for 3D reconstructions also using NVIDIA Clara technology, this is entire 3D heritage building. Like one of our project we are working with one of the professor of Kyungpyeong National University, South Korea itself. So we are generating entire older monument into 3D. So using the same NVIDIA computer graphics integrated technology, we are regenerating entire 3D using older units data over there. So automatically they are calculating, okay, such kind of element was over there. So if fortunately at that time, this would be somehow result. So using that previous informations of input, we are automatically regenerating the 3D constructions over there, right? So deep learning into the industry, if you're talking about deep learning, even for a small product, also people are using deep learning. So this is one of the monitoring system in a zoo, which deep learning, using deep learning, we are monitoring entire sensing of a body. This one project has been completed by Massachusetts Institute of Technology Design Department itself. A small presentation, then again I will come back to the exact how in education we can get implement about the artificial intelligence to effectively engage our student and a teacher over there, right? So here you can check out in a Seoul, Seoul, they had put it all of the sensors over there. So all sensors are automatically calculating the information of body pressures over there, and they are giving us the best predictions result over there. So this one project has been get completed by MIT scholars in MIT Research Lab, USA itself. Right, so in a several industry, even for a small, minor solutions also, you can think how you can get implement about the AI and deep learning and IoT enabled sensors, and you can get produce the results. And simply that concept you can do for the patenting also, and usually your patent would be also get published, come granted also over there, right? This is about that. Now, the medical project which I'm talking, I was working on that. So using artificial intelligence, machine learning, and deep learning, we are giving the solution to the patient with one click information within 30 seconds to 1 minute. They are getting a best recommended medicine, which is earlier applicable to other patients, and end of the day, the results would be 99.99% accurate and a positive, right? So first of all, I'm sharing the video with respect to that. I will demonstrate what the concept we have utilized that. But meanwhile, the video is a self-explanatory video. So whatever I would like to state in a verbal mode, everything would be get clear after watching this one video. Because as I'm a computer graphics professor, my thinking is what like cognitive science, if you learn about a human brain system, if we are a verbally teaching a student, okay, somehow the 10 to 15% data is going to in. If we are using some of the PPT and slides over there, then 30% data is going to be in. But if we are teaching a student using films, right, using films and the storytelling, 89% people are get engaging to the concept much effective. And when we are integrating immersive technology over there, then more than 98% learner are engaging with the technology, and they are producing the best results over there also. So whatever things I am stating with respect to that, I having validated everything, and with respect to my research previous data, I will like share how the things is working in a forthcoming years. So this is one of the project which I'm talking about that. So just here.
Every year, 1.5 million people die from lung cancer. 3 people break a bone every second due to osteoporosis. These and many other medical conditions can be prevented if discovered early enough using CTs, X-rays, and MRIs. What if you could teach computers to provide faster, more accurate diagnosis based on the combined wisdom and experience of thousands of radiologists? Zebra Medical Vision introduces revolutionary technology based on advanced machine and deep learning. Thousands of previously diagnosed cases are uploaded to our analytics engine, teaching it to create unique algorithms that can identify the visual fingerprints of multiple diseases. Then, when shown a new scan, it instantly recognizes that fingerprint and alerts of the disease. Zebra Medical Vision is giving healthcare a breakthrough tool to help millions of people receive faster, more affordable quality care.
Hope so. I think the concept is clear with you, whatever I'm saying. So what we are doing, we are integrated this one project. We are taken consultant of in a BHU itself. We have in our hospital itself also over here. So we had taken the data from the hospital, and we are like what we are doing. We are taking care about the information with respect to which problem doctor, what medicine they have been recommended over there, right? And with recommendation of that medicine, how fast patient has been get cured, right? So if the patient has been get cured, so with respect to that result only, if we are giving the recommended medicine to the people, end of the day, they would be faster cured and result would be more productive over there, right? So the new technology, whenever you are talking about the deep neural network, one more input commonly you may heard about the CNN over there, but one more thing is over there, that is a GAN, generative adversarial network. So whenever we are talking about the digital humans, or whenever we are talking about the 3D like humans over there, at that time a GAN is giving you one of the best solution to give us the best result output over there, right? So this is one of the explainer. I'm giving you idea how exactly GAN is working. So here we are taking care about the input variables from the several different data. Then we are adding the same data using generative network, right? So later on we are giving the distribution system, we are getting the segregations of the data. Then again we are going to train the same model. Then again cycle would be get loop. So multiple type we are using the forward propagation and the backward propagations of training of the model, right? So this training model is called the adversarial training also. So using this methodology, we are training our model in a much efficient and effective way for a faster result. But for a GAN specifically, we are using it to the like computer graphics industry. So for example, for image recreation, we are using GAN. I will share you some of the examples. Like here, you can check out. This is one of the sessions which earlier I have shared with the Guru Ghasidas Central University. Right. So using GAN here, you can check out whatever the facial recognition is going. With respect to that, here you can check out this one data is also going to be moved. So today also at initial, I was thinking to teach and get interact with you using digital avatars, right? So end of the day, what happened? My phone is today not supporting the digital avatars. So what happening? Whatever things I'm stating in front of you, automatically the digital avatar would be get integrated, and my 3D like avatar is going to teach with you. This is one of the example of generative adversarial network, right? So there is also pros and cons of GAN also, right? If for example we are taking care of data more than 1 hour or 2 hour of data of any facial expression of the human, so indirectly or directly we can easily get posted the same data into the other model also. So what will happen now? Source actor, whatever the definition which he is saying over there, automatically it's looking like what? Okay, Donald Trump is saying the same statement. So this could be a really very big problem. Like if some of the wrong statement has been get morphed by some of the people who is maybe president or the prime minister of any country. So that statement could be make a war also. So each and every technology having some of the pros, some of the cons also, right? So generative adversarial network right now has been get integrated lot and lot, and now the problem is what? The solution and the result whatever we are generating using the GAN, end of the day, as a researcher or as a identifier of the problems, sometimes it's a really very challenge which is the original image and which is the GAN integrated image also over there. So definitely now several researchers are working on how to identify this is the like a fake data you are generating with the help of GAN technology itself over there. Fine. So now coming back, how exactly this is some of the outro, what exactly AI, what exactly deep learning, and how industry is going to be changed using the AI and deep learning over there. Now the session is today specifically, like as I tell you right now, I'm connecting across 151 country of a student, and last semester also in a AICTE engineering segment PG student animation, I had a teach around 34,500 students. So having a lot of information and lot of query from the students. So in an online mode, definitely it's a really very hard to teach and hard to evaluate more than 30,000 student of data at once in one semester. So personally, I do recommend, maybe you haven't heard about the Kahoot also. Kahoot, one of the website where you can like analyze your student performance using the games also over there. So I had personally generated several small like game based training applications also. So using that game based methodology, we are evaluating our like student also. So these are some of the implementation which I had done in like NPTEL SAM course over there. That's why every year more than 20,000 students are going to be enrolled over there, right? So how effectively we are teaching using ICT, I'm going to explore something, right? And specifically if we are talking about the education industry, this is only one of the industry which is not went down even we are into the COVID-19 pandemic situation, right? One of the medical industry, second is the education industry, right? But one of the problem what in a COVID-19 pandemic situation, like several older professor who having not much familiar with the computer and the cell phone, they having at initial phase one from March to August itself, they having problem, but next semester they are also much familiar. But end of the day, whenever you are teaching into the online mode, how effectively engage the student, this is also very, very important. Like today's sessions also have videos, so you that videos, definitely you having a very clear concept and idea where we can get implement AI and deep learning. And definitely I do believe at the end of that session you may having also some thought, okay, using deep learning and AI, something we can also identify. Definitely you having one of the problem, and for solution definitely you have to do more research and work to get identify the solutions over there. But end of the day you having one genuine problem in your brain also. So if you're having problem, then only you can find the solutions over there, right? So specifically, if we are talking about the industry, automotive industry, aviation, tourism, oil, construction, food, healthcare, and telecommunication, all industry having fell down with respect to their financial transactions over there. Like across the globe, several countries having national lockdown, either partial or full, right? Even in our country, India also several 100% country was also have suffered with a complete full lockdown over there. So when we are implementing artificial intelligence in education, this is my previous research. So we came to know the retention ratio and the result ratio has been get increased 47.5%. So earlier around 20 to 25% students are only giving the best result. But when I implemented virtual reality integrated simulation lab based training system, we had get more than 75% student has been get actively engaged with my course over there, right? So as a teacher, when we are implementing AI collaboration, what would be the result? AI already has been like several schools and colleges has been get applied into the primary education. Like in a phase one in India, IIT and NIT has been get implemented, and several private colleges are also implementing artificial intelligence in their regular teaching experience over there, and it can help to fill the gap between teaching and learning. As a teacher also, several times what happening, whenever we are going to the regular classroom over there, after completion of class, 90% as a teacher we are having not idea, maybe during the teacher maybe teaching maybe one or two statement or one or two data, maybe grammatical mistake we had stated over there. So everything we are forgot about after completion of class. But whenever we are teaching into the online mode, 90% time our session into the recorded mode only, right? So if we are going to the recorded mode of classes over there, later on we can analyze, we can check out whatever the problem has been get earlier over there. Yeah, any question? Voice is coming, something. Okay, so I'm continuing. So if we having the data over there to get analyzed, whatever problems we had faced during the classroom. So with that analysis report, we can train ourselves much better, effectively. So next classroom, we can engage more effective our student, and the result would be also much better, right? So this is the same. I had a mention as a researcher, as another come researcher, come teacher. Whenever we are implementing AI, like right now, you can implement several games. Like even some university, I had attended one of the sessions of Stanford University. So what they are doing during the regular classroom, they are going to teach with the memes also. Commonly in India, we are thinking meme we are commonly using to get criticize any politicians or any actor over there, but they are a teaching student using meme, because commonly when they are we are playing the meme over there, as a learner also we are very actively hearing and we are enjoying to hear what happening over there. So these are some of the experimental things as a teacher. We are several new things implementing in online teaching and learning to get engaged our student much effective over there, right? So some of the examples which I will also share right now, whatever the best things whenever we are integrating the AI. So universal access for a student, like I tell you, if you are developing your virtual reality integrated lab over there, one time, like in a physical mode, we having a problem specifically. For example, if you have to teach how heart is operating, right? So for that, maybe we require one body. Definitely, you have watched a movie Munna Bhai MBBS. So there was a shot in that movie, like, okay, in this time, definitely body identification is also tough. So if we are giving them the 3D environment over there, right? So what will happen if we are giving them a 3D environment over there? So using virtual lab, they can came to know how heart is working over there, right? So using that simulation technology, when the people learn, end of the day, result would be much better. So universal access for all students at one time. Automate admin task. We can easily identify how much a student has given, how much time to do the practice over there, because we having all time stuff has been get maintained over there. Tutoring and support outside the classroom. Maybe when the COVID-19 situation would be get solved over there, end of the day, we should have implement the virtual lab system in a regular classroom also. So whatever the result would be over there, meanwhile, during the regular classroom, if we having little less facility for the lab in our college or the university due to the infrastructure problem, we can give them the solution of the artificial intelligence virtual lab based training systems over there also. Practice based individualized learning. Again, I tell you, whenever we are teaching using VR, they can simulate with the product, they can practically learn and interact with the tech, machines also over there. So individually they are learning without going to the actual place. For example, as I clearly remember, when I came to India, it's into 2004 and 5 itself. I having one of the project under the DRDO, so I was into the Jammu. So like commonly people having one of the thought, na, okay, I have to become one of the top-notch person in a country. So fortunately, when I come to India, I pushed into the top of the India only. That is Jammu and Kashmir itself. So in under the DRDO that project and concept, I had a make a simulation system for army. So there we are training how to operate the gun, how to play with a grenade and bombs over there into the virtual simulation system in a software, like it's a VR integrated lab only. So that was one of my very good experience where at that time I clearly remember I was only 15-year-old and I having a first assignment over there. So that was a very great intensive experience for me, and definitely end of the day we having a good result. Why? Because whenever you are going to the real life practice, you are investing the bullets, you are investing the grenades over there into the real life practice. So what has changed? One, we are training our people in a software. When they're passing, then only we are giving ground base practice over there. So these are something whenever we are implementing AI in education, result would be much better. Education at any time, automatic basic activities education like grading, definitely easily using their time, using their game based simulation, how many questions he has resolved in which timing, automatically the grading would become. So as a teacher, evaluation would be also much easier. This one terminology commonly whenever I'm doing the evaluation, I'm using the rubrics methodology to get evaluate student performance over there, right? Maybe later on whenever I get a time to get demonstrate about the rubrics, because rubrics is also a very intensive topic, so it will take more 4 to 5 hours to get intensive discussion about how to evaluate using the rubrics methodology. But you can check out this one keyword into the Google. Definitely you may having several data over there to get learn the same over there, right? Virtual mentors, practice based individualized learning. For example, as a teacher, definitely as I told you previously, I was associated with BHU itself. Now I am not a part of BHU, like as an assistant in a project I am working over there. But what happened, virtually I am get associated over there in my project, a lifetime my video would be over there using that like a banner only over there, right? Practice based individualized learning, people are interacting with real life VR gadgets over there, so practically they are interacting. Like definitely if we are teaching a student about how to operate the body, so whenever first of all they are operating the body into the 3D VR integrated learning system, and when directly they will go to the OT operation theater, definitely their hand would not shake that much when Earlier, commonly people having no idea how in a physical mode body is going to be operate. So this is one of the good thing over there. Educational software can be adapted to teach student need also. Like I tell you, na, these are the Kahoot also. You can get implement. You can add gamification using whenever you are a teaching student over there. And last one is what? Better engagement, right? So whenever you are teaching into the online mode, what commonly happening, students are switching off the video and they are keeping the mute position and they are sleeping. As a teacher, we are teaching to more than 80 students, but indirect way, but directly end of the day, if you go back, you will check out, okay, no one student in front of the desk. So whenever if you are giving some of the in between assignments over there using the gamification, as a student, they should be get engaged over there also, right? So these are some of the benefits, right? So I'm skipping because already I had demonstrated about this one. One more thing, children's, like right now, definitely if you talk about your kids at your home, now we clearly remember the processor of our kids in 3 year only, they having a more effective and grasping power with respect to our time. Why? Because now they are watching and learning using the videos over there, using the game they are learning. So when they are implementing the artificial intelligence and the gamification and teaching, definitely result is much better. As I clearly remember, if maximum people from the computer science engineering background, first time I heard learn about the Java in standard 8 only, but right now you can check out using the White Hat Junior and several website online. They are offering the coding, and like my daughter, she is only 5 year old, and I'm get enrolled her in that programming course, and she is learning coding also over there. And at initial, whenever I'm typing the codes on a computer, several times she is saying, Dad, what you are doing into the computer? ABCD you are typing over there. What is the result for that? Now using that gamification, when she is learning and she is executing the result, she is also more happy. So end of the day, whenever we are using the artificial intelligence and gamification in teaching, we are positively and like engaging our kids also to get learn over there, because now it's not time to go with a bookish based reading over there. You having a book and read and read and read. It's like we have to go with the interactive teaching methodology. Then only as a learner, they would love to engage and they will love to teach over there. Like these are some of the existing AI based solution which you can also get recommend your kids, like Tinkermap, Brainly, CTI, Karangi Learning, third space learning, Little Dragon. If your kids are not much interested to get learn about the mathematics, I do recommend you can go with the Tinkermat and the Karangi Learning. These are the some of the very good apps. Come the subscription based options where your kids effectively and learn about mathematics and algebra itself also. Fine. AI in medical training and support. So specifically, if you are talking about teaching and learning, right? So one of the new technology you about that IOMT. Can anyone define what is the full form of IOMT in a chat box? Because else it would be only one-way communication now. Anyone please type about the IOMT? India, Oxford, Mumbai, Tamil Nadu. What is this IOMT? Anyone here? Definitely all you know. When I will tell, then you will say, oh, yes, yes, I know, I know. Okay, I'm moving forward because we're having a little less time and I have to share a lot of things with you. So end of the day, when you leave the session, you should be at least be okay. I had given my 2 hour of time to get know something new. Internet of Medical, exactly, sir. Harpreet Singh, sir, you were right. Internet of Medical Technology, yeah. Somehow it's also right. So this is some alternative keyword. IOMT, Internet of Medical Things, telemedicine. So what is exactly telemedicine? I clearly remember like during COVID-19, I am also getting engaged in a COVID-19 time with Banaras Hindu University Institute of Medical Science. So we are in BHU Telemedicine Center, Professor Srivastava sir, he is a coordinator of Institute of Medical Science Telemedicine Center of Banaras Hindu University. So at initial, I clearly remember before COVID-19, in 2 or 3 months, 1 or 2 patients are taking care consultants using telemedicine. But during COVID-19, it's a boon for the people, specifically if you're having a little idea about the Varanasi itself. So 70% people from the half part of Bihar to Allahabad, they are 90% dependent on a BHU hospital only. So end of the day, in a COVID-19 situation, all the traveling has been get banned over there. So and definitely in a COVID-19 situation, as a doctor also, it's a really very tough to get interact with the people. So telemedicine is a boon for that. So what telemedicine is doing? Online consultations, like as a patient, we are giving one request. I'm looking for like a cardiovascular doctor, right? So using the cardiovascular doctor with the software, we are giving the assignment, okay, and we are giving the recommendation. Cardiovascular doctor, sir, there is one patient, he is looking your recommendation. So online they are giving the payment also, whatever the consultancy fee, and using the like Zoom and WebEx apps only, we are connected with the patients and we are giving the recommendation to them. So telemedicine here, doctor in a coming into the face-to-face mode, into the virtualization. But the methodology which I shared with that video earlier, we are giving us the solution where doctors also not required, right? So whatever doctors has been give the prescriptions earlier to the patient, and the result is a positive with respect to that recommendation system, we are only generating artificial intelligence based software which automatically recommending people the best medicine that practically has been get cured also, like real world implementation done only. So this is about the like IUMT, artificial intelligence. Definitely during COVID for disinfections, we are using drone also. So using drone, we done the surveillance also in our country for disinfections of diseases and crops also. We are using drone systems. So these are something going to be changed in our country also rapidly. In a COVID-19, digitalizations has been moved to our country, right? So now one more thing, every time I'm saying VR, VR, VR. So what is exactly VR now? I'm going to introduce. So traditional ICT based training example, like right now in India also or in a foreign country also, till date people are teaching student using such kind of methodology which I'm going to present. Like for example, I'm muting the audio because audio is not required here. Like, okay, how to show the human body scar over there, right? So this is one of the live video they had recorded in front of camera, and with respect to that there is some motion graphics informations over there. So definitely if we are teaching a student using this methodology, definitely it would be workout. Like this is something which in India we are starting right now, right? In a foreign countries, such methodology is using in a teaching long time back, right? I'm moving little fast over there, right? So for example, if this way we are giving the demonstration to student, definitely do believe me, they are more confident whenever they will go to the operation theater. For second, if we are talking about, again let us mute it because audio is not required. So maybe as a teacher, whatever we are teaching, so using that infographics, whatever things we are stating over there, with respect to that, all infographic element is coming parallelly. So this is a also information and communication technology integration in a teaching. When we are utilizing these things in a teaching, definitely effectively we can get engaged the student over there, right? So these are the two methodology right now in India we are implementing. But I'm talking about the third methodology, virtual reality immersive technology based teaching and learning, right? So this is what. So when, like I tell you, virtual reality and augmented reality is my research topic during my PhD also. So this is the result which I came to know when we are teaching a student using experimental learning using immersive technology. 75 to 90% student retention ratio and quality of learning has been get increased over there, right? So this is something which I'm talking about, right? Headset, one headset for virtual reality. So what is exactly virtual reality and augmented reality and mixed reality? In a very short span of time, I'm going to demonstrate. Commonly people having idea, all these three are the same technology. But virtual reality means what? Virtual reality means where you are going inside to the 3D environment. Augmented reality means what? Using the cell phone or the digital device, you are incorporating a 3D element and you are watching the cell phone and you are interacting with the object. Mixed reality is what? Where it's a mixture of human sensing with computer. That's a part of human computer interaction. HCI. Right? So this is the third thing which right now going on. XR. So AI, sorry, AR, VR, MR, and XR. These are the four terminology we are using into the immersive technology, right? So what are the benefits whenever we are teaching with the immersive technology? Higher engagement rate, experimental learning. See, for higher risk situation like COVID-19, you are at home, you can enjoy the entire session using the virtual reality technology without coming to the college, right? And reduce the training and travel expenses. But end of the day, one of the hidden thing is mentioned over there. When you are going to create a VR enabled lab, it required a huge money over there, right? Like I'm giving you one of the example. Right now, one of the project I was checking completed going under the Indian Institute of Science, Bangalore itself. The professor is working on a Hampi recreation, right? So for that Hampi tourism, that is one of the tourism place in Karnataka itself. So for Hampi 3D recreation, DST Government of India has funded around 1 crore 80 lakhs rupee for one VR integrated lab simulation. But end of the day, when that lab has been get developed, lifetime people can get use that application come VR experience from anywhere. So this is the benefit. So this is a one time investment. So one time if you are investing, end of the day, not as an a teacher you will invest in, definitely your college or administration need to be invest for that, because end of the day, if our student result would be much better, then only in term of like a college reputation, the result would be much better only over there, right? So this is some of the example of the immersive technology based teaching and learning. Like here you can check out, this is the STC Vive like a headset over there. So using the sensing handset over there, whatever the command he is giving over there. So he will feel like I am inside this one crane over there and I'm operating this one machine here. The person is also feeling like, okay, I am of lively operating the body over there. So these are the pros of e-learning using the artificial intelligence integrated immersive technology, right? So these are the future right now. Google, right now Nvidia, right now Microsoft, they are intensively hiring the people who having a very good experience about virtual reality and immersive technology itself, right? So these are university right now, they had integrated VR integrated lab in their university. Few of the university name like a Massachusetts Institute of Technology, Harvard University, Berkeley, University of Texas, Boston, and the Hong Kong Polytechnic University name are few, which they are integrated immersive technology, artificial intelligence in their university to teach actively their students over there, right? So like commonly, as I told you, commonly people are thinking, what is the use of CGI in artificial intelligence? Like, what is the use into the movies of CGI, right? So I'm sharing you some of the project which we had to get accomplished, right? So you having also very clear idea and experience how we are implementing artificial intelligence into the computer graphics imagery. And again, the methodology is what? GAN, Generative Adversarial Network. I'm skipping a little faster.
I am a visionary, revitalizing the past to inspire the future, breaking the constraints of perception.
Here you can see this is a one photograph only, right? So using the same technology, what we did, this one 2D photographs has been get converted into 3D. Some of the application you can check out such kind of available with a Facebook also. Simply you have to just take your photographs and automatically they are converting your photographs into 3D also. So the same technology we are utilizing over there, deep learning methodology to get converting 2D images into the 3D itself.
To power dynamic forms of expression I am realizing artistic visions.
So this is also NVIDIA, one of the project GAN, GeoGAN right now working. So here you can check out. Simply randomly we are painting the rough outline, and automatically with respect to the styles and images they are producing the new result over there.
Realizing artistic visions. Inventing unique variations. And reimagining legendary works as timeless as their creator. I am constantly evolving, bringing characters,
My matter universe.
finding freedom, exploration, and poetry in movement. I am always pushing limits, accelerating excellence, imagining a better future for everyone. AI.
Yeah. So hope now you have an idea how we are integrating computer graphics in. I think one voice is on here. Okay, fine. Now I think he is muted. So now I'm sharing you finally a sneak peek. So at current, I'm also developing one course, artificial intelligence integrated virtual reality, one of the course. So this is one of the sneak peek which I would like to share with you. So your entire concept of augmented reality, virtual reality, immersive technology would be get cleared. Fine.
Hello everyone. Welcome to the Udacity Nano Degree program. I'm your mentor, Dr. Abhishek K, Assistant Professor at Department of Computer Science, Institute of Science, Banaras Hindu University. I'm Autodesk certified, Adobe certified, as well as the Apple certified also. And today I will teach you about the industry-oriented course on virtual reality. This course covers all steps required to create a 3D scenes with the help of Autodesk Maya and Unity to deploy it as a virtual reality scene. In this course, we will learn about the game asset design with the help of Autodesk Maya and Unity game engine. As we all know that one of the hot technology in the current era is virtual reality, augmented reality, and the mixed reality. In short term, we may heard this terminology as a AR, VR, or MR. So what this technology is? In general, we may not able to go to Mars or some other planet or swim and play with the dolphins or shark, etc. But with the help of virtual reality, VR, augmented reality, AR, and the mixed reality MR, it promises that we may able to interact with these all things within going outside of your home. The technology promises to give you the feel of real world using the high performance computers and the sensory equipments like headsets, gloves, etc. Apart from games and the entertainment, it has long been using for training airline pilots and the surgeons for helping the scientists to figure out the complex problems. Virtual reality, VR, new technology. But interest in this technology has been boomed since 2016, when the gamers and the handphone scientists introduces the several high quality, relatively inexpensive commercial headsets to the public. A similar surge has emerged in augmented reality AR, a technology that uses to see through visual or the smartphone screen to layer object on top of real surroundings. Recent appearance of low-cost virtual reality technology like the Oculus Rift, the HTC Vive, and the Sony PlayStation VR and the mixed reality interfaces MRTF like HoloLens, thus suggesting that it may be the next largest stepping stone into the technological innovation. The study of VR initiated into the computer graphics field and has been extended to the several disciplines. Computer graphics concept onto the VR technology could be traced at the mid of 1960s, when the Evan Sutherland in a manuscript tried to describe VR, virtual reality, as a window through which users perceive the virtual world as if looked, felt, sounded real, and in which the user could act realistically and feel realistically also. Today, in the virtual reality, VR technology is applied to the advanced field of medicines, engineering, education, design, training, entertainment, etc. VR is a computer interface which tries to mimic the real world beyond the flat monitor to give an immersive 3D, three-dimensional visual experience. This is the first foundation level course focusing on to the creation of deployment of virtual reality scene using the Unity 3D and Autodesk Maya application that playable on headset as well as a mobile devices with Samsung Gear VR and the Google Cardboard also. The course aims to arm the students with the basic necessary to tackle elementary VR projects as well as layer of foundations of complex VR projects also. This course covers the steps required to create a Unity 3D scene and deploy it as a virtual reality scene also. You will also learn about the Unity game engine and the distinctions between the Google VR, the Samsung Gear VR, and the Oculus VR platforms. This course has been divided into 8 weeks and uses a project approach where the
So hope I think you're having a very clear idea. If you are engaging your learners using artificial intelligence integrated immersive technology, the result of a learning based outcome would be intensively up and up and up. This is one of the courses right now I'm working. So this would be 8 week of entire course. Tentatively, maybe in a month of June 2021, I am able to launch this one course. Right, so skipping to next because it's a take little more time. So specifically right now we are working into the digital humans also. So what is exactly digital human? I'm going to share with you. So this is one of the example which recently in a SIGGRAPH conference also has been get introduced and see.
I am a fully simulated artificial replication capable of being driven and rendered in real time. Over the last couple of years, we've digitized me. I've got a little avatar that looks pretty close to what I look like, and it runs in real time. It's not just a digital human that we're rendering for a film where we can have artists fix it up and everything. It has to actually be realistic in the moment.
I'm the director of our Digital Human Group. It's basically a team of engineers and artists and technicians all working towards the goal of creating the most photorealistic digital human possible. Originally, my background is in feature films, creating the digital characters like Thanos and others for big movies. And what we started seeing is that the hardware, especially NVIDIA hardware, started getting to the point where we could start to sort of close that gap from what we were doing offline feature film rendering to where we were able to do real time. Instead of rendering hours per frame, rendering in milliseconds. We're using NVIDIA hardware in a whole wide range of different things. Most recently, we're using NVIDIA's RTX architecture to do a lot of ray tracing.
We're doing ray tracing occlusion, ray tracing shadows, ray tracing everything. That's just one. How to make Digitad look real, but he also has to move real and behave real. And that's where NVIDIA's machine learning technology has really enabled to do the kind of training and machine learning stuff that we wanted to do. So we have Volta cards, we have RTXs that we're using to just slam training and inference through. We also use NVIDIA throughout our entire company to make film. We're moving a lot of our rendering from CPU-based renderers to GPU-based renderers. So how the character behaves and how the character looks is all based on NVIDIA technology. And it's going to take us into the future, really. Who sees things at SIGGRAPH right now that 5 years ago I would have said,
Okay, so this is what exactly digital human is. And one more example, this is.
Hello, I'm Siren, and I'm a digital human. I was created by an international team of artists and engineers who wanted to challenge our ideas of what a synthetic human could be. I've got state-of-the-art real-time graphics and an unprecedented level of detail in my eyes, skin, and hair. Cool, right? But I'm more than just a collection of fancy pixels. I'm actually being driven by a real human actress and her dynamic motion capture through Unreal Engine. So what are you waiting for? Come meet me at the Vicon booth and see for yourself.
Okay, so this is something. So what is the use of this thing? End of the day, if you're talking about like maybe we want to see Raj Kapoor ji, or maybe the actors who is not now here with us, but still we want to make a movie on that. So if we are doing training with respect to the previously all movie done by that actor or actresses, we will train entire model, and again we will create the same CGI integrated human. That's called the digital human. But whatever things you had seen over there, it's not like that so simple works right now. It's a seeing, because manually we have to create an entire mess into the 3D application. Like personally, I'm using the Autodesk Maya application for a modeling purpose, for a 3D designing an asset specifically. Somehow, whenever we have to create a background model, then I'm using the Autodesk Max application for that. And specifically for a motion capture integrated data-driven requirement, whenever I required, I do prefer more Autodesk Max application rather than Maya application. Because whenever you are talking about the gamification and a game-based result over there, 3ds Max application be having much better with comparison to the Maya application. So manually we need to work onto the each and every pixels to get generate the things. One more CGI example I would like to share with you with end of the session. So definitely all you have seen this one video, Hulk of Avenger, but fortunately or unfortunately, the face of Hulk character has been get changed by one of my students. Right now he is working with the India TV. The student name is Abhijit Shekhar itself. Right, so see, have look, and it's a look. Okay, it's his face only map onto this one 3D character. So actually for training the model, I'm executing the results, are taking a lot of time. So that I'm not able to take a small short clip. Then we had to converted that image into the image sequences over there. Then we had to take analyze about the pixel to pixels informations of entire data, and we had to use RGB and HSV color mode over there. And later on, we had to convert it and render the data into OpenEXR format over there, because in OpenEXR format, they are supporting the transparency, occlusion, several render map, normal maps over there, and we had blended all the data in a one file. So these are something whenever we are working with a CGI based work, we have to go ahead. So this is something about the digital human. This is something about the artificial intelligence and the deep learning for a next generation technology. And this is something how effectively you can get engage your learner to teach them effectively. Any question, any query, you all are most welcome to get discussed. Right now, we are working with some of the research paper, like the paper which I had shared with you, PPH. So the paper PPH has been accepted to publish in a neural computing and application. Okay, why there are not allowing? Okay, I need to get little maximize the same. So yeah, this is the one of the solution PPH postpartum hemorrhage. So we had utilized the fuzzy neural network and deep learning technology for this one research. So we were working on this one concept from, I do remember, 2018 onwards, and with several revisions and all, the paper has been now accepted around 10 days back only in a neural computing and application 4.98 or 4.7 impact factor itself. Unfortunately, we had a granted patent also on the same postpartum hemorrhage for using deep fuzzy neural network. So what is the exact concept? I'm sharing you one of the image only. As I told you earlier also, my major thinking is what whenever you are specifically either teaching or guiding the student, or you are presenting anything in front of the audience, your infographics element should be 100% clear and crisp to understand the audience what exactly things happen. So meanwhile, this is a very long paper. We had done a lot of calculation, lot of things, and in a real life patient, we have done the result output also, and fortunately, we get the best result. So end of the day, what is the concept? I'm sharing one image only. So with watching this one, figure number one, your entire concept would be clear what exactly we done into this research paper. So what is this? This is the automation system. So we are made one wearable device like Fitbit and all. So right now, design of the device into the implementation stage only. So using the sensor only, we are taking care of capture of the data, and we are analyzing the entire data using the deep learning methodology. Then we are doing the analysis over there. If the result is getting normal, then no guidance required. But if the result is going abnormal, then the data would be go to the IoT sensor, and using GP protocol, the alert would be happen. Now coming back to the thing, what is the concept? Now what we came to know, like in India, after post-pregnancy of mother, like around in a villages itself, around 30 to 40% women having a death ratio over there, because due to the less intensive care over there, because they having a less funds also. So after post pregnancy also, they could not be into the hospital and pay a huge money daily to keep over there. So what happening using this one device, what we are doing post pre-pregnancy 1 month before, we are recommending this one device to get carried with the patients over there. So automatically this one device is taking care of all the information about their body sensations over there, and whatever the post-pregnancy, the result is coming over there. So pre-pregnancy and post-pregnancy, the result would be same matched over there. If abnormality is going over there, automatically they are informing nearby medical hospitals, and they are automatically recommending their well-wishers over there. So in this manner, what would happen, at least in a time, if there any abnormality would be get found, we can take care about the patient, and we can move the patient to the hospital, and we can save her life. So this is the concept, in which concept we had completed this one assignment, and fortunately after several revision, in 1.5 years, the paper has been get accepted into the good research paper. One more, like autonomous vehicles, right now we are working for emergency type, how we can rerouting the entire traffic. So this one paper has been get into the second positive revision in IEEE transactions only. So here again, here you can check out. So my major focus only, whatever things you are writing into the research paper or the presentation, everything should be clear and crisp using the infographic element. Like here you can check out, this is a traffic controller. These are the city monitoring drones. Here accident happened. Okay, so monitoring drone, what we monitor about the data, and they are passing the data to the traffic controller. At the end of the day, they would be maintained about all the trafficking systems over there, right? So using the DART algorithm, we had completed this one project. And at the time, whenever we had started this one project over there, at that time YOLO 3 we had implemented, but right now YOLO 4 has been available with us. So when you go about the YOLO 4 methodology, definitely the result and training model output is a much better and much efficient over there, right? So this is right now into the second revision, positive revision only. So this is something, that's why I'm recommending whenever you work, this is one of more project we are working with one of the respective professors of SKIT college also, Ankit sir and Dinesh sir itself. So in a collaborations, we are working again in a post-mortem hemorrhage, how effectively we can predict more accurate result to get identify the problem, then only we can recommend the solution to the a patient. So that's why I tell each and every time, as a researcher, as a guide, it's our responsibility also, whenever we are taking care any project, and whenever we are assigning any concept to the student, the concept should be industry oriented, concept should be somehow beneficial towards society. If the concept is not beneficial towards the society, end of the day, definitely that research would be only result in form of degree, not in form of something like a feeling proud. Okay, I completed 5 years in my PhD and something I had executed towards the society, so the society would be get benefited, right? So even in some of the recommendation in UGC meeting also, I recommended also the PhD should not be get awarded. This is in the paper publication. PhD should be only get awarded when patent would be get granted. Definitely, I know this is a very tough, but end of the day, when the things would be happen, and when as a researcher, as a professor, as a guide, we would be get pressurized, the result would be happen. Because every time, all we know, whenever problem will come, then only challenges and solution will come. Like in Indian, we having one of the technology which no one having across the globe. That technology is called what? Jugaad technology, right? So with the same, I'm summing up the session. If any audience having any query, any question, you all are most welcome to get discussed. And even I had to share my email ID also. So if anyone is looking to, or anyone is doing the research with respect to generative adversarial network or the digital humans, you all are most welcome to do the collaborative research in the same segment. Thanks a lot. Thanks SKIT College. Thanks SKIT Group to get invite me to get share some of my towards the respective professors from our country. Thanks a lot. Have a good evening. Be safe. Be happy. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Abhishek, for such an insightful session. It was a really great session. Thank you very much. And now I would like to convey that tomorrow's session will start at 9 a.m. So all the participants are requested to kindly join at 9 a.m. in morning for tomorrow's session. Once again, Dr. Abhishek, thank you very much.
Thanks, sir. Thanks. And I do believe maybe I had not given you time to do sleep.
No,
Thanks a
it
lot.
was
Had
good.
a good evening. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.